Welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page, guys. We're happy to have you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us comments, do all the stuff.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. I got a drug addiction to feed.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. My name is Adam Glyn. Over there is Dax Holt. I'm in California right now, Dax. I'm in the same state as you.
This is my territory. Go back home.
I'm in California, but you're in Orange County. I'm in Los Angeles, hanging out right now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to even see you this trip, bud.
I know, and I did that on purpose.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, I actually know where I went today, dude. I went to the Aloe Gym.
That what?
The Aloe Gym. Are you familiar with that?
No, I have no idea.
That's that big influencer gym that like all the celebrities go to, where they get like you ever seen on social media?
Kids?
Yeah. So I got to go there today, and they gave me some clothes and some sweat. I fall into some shitty good situations. I just milk it for what it was worth.
So wait, did you see anyone there that you recognized?
No, but they told me earlier in the day Kaya Gerber was there and Lori Harvey was there. So, but they're I got there like at 3. I guess they were there in the morning. But dude, also, you know where I saw a ton of people is this past weekend. I was at the UFC fight, and I was like watching. My view of the fight was with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and a bunch of people right there, so I could see them watching the fight perfectly. So it's kind of cool to like, you don't have to like look away. Like they're just in my view the entire time.
That's crazy. Wow,
that's kind of cool.
That was a cute. Like the amount of people that showed up to that thing was wild.
I was surprised, but I saw a bunch of people. But you know who I saw outside, Dex? I saw Brianna Chickenfry, and I got a quick interview with Brianna Chickenfry. Her first interview, kind of post or through. She's spoken obviously about it through Barstool, but this is the first time she's talked outside Barstool. So I didn't have my real camera. I just put on my cell phone and I talked to Brianna Chickenfry.
Let's play it.
How are you doing, right? How's everything been for you? Obviously, been a crazy couple of weeks, but how are you doing mentally? Feeling good? Are you back to feeling 100%? Or
no, of course not. But I'm feeling okay. I'm with my friends and with people I love, so it's good.
Dave's leaving the BFF podcast. How do you feel about this? How will the podcast, keep growing without Dave? Obviously, he's a big part of it.
Yeah, I've known this for about 4 months now that Dave's leaving. So, I mean, it's sad. I love Dave. He's my favorite person in the world. But I think me and Josh have an opportunity to do something a lot bigger. So, I'm
very
excited.
Cool. Who's the coolest person that's been in your DMs since all the news broke?
Oh.
In support, I would say.
That's something I would never tell.
But it's been a lot. Have you been getting some A-list names kind of reach out to you and say, hey, man, I just want to say, hope you're doing well.
A lot of women that have been through the same thing. So it's really cool. I've got to, I feel like I started a fire under a lot of women's asses. And they get to, rally behind me. It's really cool.
You've spoken a lot about it, but is there still more that will come out? Or is it kind of like, are you ready to move on?
Yeah, no, I mean, I said what I wanted to say. And if I have to, I will, but I don't plan on it. So.
Do you plan on writing a book?
Yeah, but I've always planned on writing a book, so it doesn't have anything to do with The Smallest Man.
Has anybody in his team reached out since just to say, hey, just want to piece up, or how's it been?
Oh no, I'm blocked. The last time they reached out to me is when they tried to offer me $12 million.
Interesting. And your family's been great through all. Obviously, been supportive. It's pretty cool. Everyone stepped up.
No, my family, my friends, everyone is the best. I mean, everyone's the best.
And what's next for you, obviously?
Taking over the world.
Good to see you. Glad you're doing well.
Good to see you too.
Dude, that is huge to get her right now. Huge.
That's pretty cool, right?
Literally everyone has been like either interested in the story or wanting to talk to her. I mean, obviously she's got her own podcast and all of that kind of stuff, but that's a huge get because it's super topical right now. I'm glad she talked to you.
Yeah, she was very sweet, very nice, very appreciative of her. I asked her before if I could film her or talk to her, and she was like, yeah, of course. And like everyone was walking by her and didn't even recognize her. I didn't have my professional camera. I shot on my cell phone. But she just posted about it on her TikTok, the video. And she said, I don't even remember doing this. It was like 2 a.m, which was true. But she was like very nice, very sweet.
Did you talk to her after the camera went off? Did you say anything off camera?
Very brief. I just said to her, I was like, "Hey, man, I've talked to her before. I was like, hey, thanks for your time. Like, I really appreciate taking the time, and because, and I always try to say this to people, because if they give me 2 minutes of the time,
Hmm.
I'm able to pay for my health insurance." But she was very sweet, very nice. Like, people went up to her on the street, asked for photos. Like, she was just happy to be there.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
How
she was
cool.
she was cool.
So we got a good episode coming up today.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, so I recorded an episode earlier this week. You were running around the city doing your thing, but with Clint Brewer, who is probably one of the most successful paparazzi out there working in LA. And by the way, I did ask him what he likes to be called. He said paparazzi is totally fine with him. He's not offended by that term. He actually is like, it's what I do. But he is one of the most successful guys out there. He had some amazing stories about J.Lo's wedding that I can't wait for you guys to hear. And he's been hustling for years and years and years. And if you go follow his Instagram page, you'll see all the incredibly huge photos that you have seen, but didn't know they were his photos. And we get into a bunch of those. So Adam, I think you're going to enjoy it because it's your world. You gave me a bunch of the questions to ask him. So from your line of work to be able to ask him about. So it turned into a really fun conversation.
Yeah, I always like when we talk to paparazzi journalists because they have great stories. And Clint is like an OG, a beast, one of the probably highest earning paparazzis out there. I mean, the guy works, he's very strategic on what he works and how he works, gets great shots. I mean, he just knows how to get the job done.
He's the best.
It's so funny. Back to Brianna Chickenfry, not trying to change away from Clint, but so I was with my buddy and we knew that she was at the fight. And the way, again, Donald Trump was at the fight. So they had streets blocked off they wouldn't allow people to go down certain streets. I said to my buddy, I go, dude, Brianna's here. I need to try to get an interview with her. But we didn't know which exit she was going to leave. We didn't know how she was going to exit. And we knew that the city was a mess because of Trump was there. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand on this street. My spidey sense is that she's going to walk this direction on this corner. And I said, just something about it. I just feel it's going to happen. My buddy's like, all right, we'll give it like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, she walks up. I'm like, how the fuck did you know that? I was like, this is what we do. It's strategic thinking. We have to always think ahead. So I'm a really good private investigator when it comes to stupid stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that, yeah. But you know who else is in the news this week, Dax, a lot? Well, he's been in the news the last, I don't know, 5 months now. We've been dealing with is P. Diddy.
Oh my God. It is nonstop. There was a really interesting P. Diddy story this week. P. Diddy is now being accused of sacrificing a bird before one of his court cases. Yes, you heard me right. This is all coming from a former bodyguard of his that was a part of, do you remember that 1999 club shooting with him and Shine back in the day? He was facing like 10 years behind bars. Well, this bodyguard is saying that he was working with him back that day, the day that he was up for his sentencing, or to hear the verdict, and he was driving him through New York, through Manhattan to get to the courthouse. And apparently at one point, he told the driver pulled over right in the middle of Central Park, and that's when some guy approached Diddy. Diddy dropped to his knees, like this is in the middle of Central Park. Diddy dropped to his knees. Smoke started swirling around Diddy. And the bodyguard, the guy's name is Gene Deal, thinks that the burning substance was sage that was like going around Diddy. And then the guy said that this person who appeared had a Bible and started praying and placing his hands on Diddy before telling Diddy to grab a white bird from the cage. Diddy reached in, did something to the bird and threw it up in the air, and then it dropped to the ground like a brick.
That is sort of believable.
And then,
I don't know.
And he said, and that was the end of the ritual, and that the bird was dead, and Diddy walked away. And they said hours later, Diddy was acquitted on attempted bribery and weapons possession charges, and which was a huge, huge relief because, like I said, he was up for 15 years in prison if he was convicted. And Shine, the other guy who was a part of this whole situation, was found guilty of assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of a pistol, which he was sentenced to 10 years behind bars. And for many, many years, everyone said that he was the fall guy for Diddy. And anyway, all of these claims were made in the Honorable Shine. This is a new Hulu documentary that Shine was dropping this week. So pretty crazy to think that there was some sacrifice. Think how many birds would have to die right now for him to try to get out of this situation.
That's such a random, ridiculous story that I do feel like there's some truth to it. You know, I
It's
do.
so weird because you don't make that up. It's so unbelievable, which makes it even more believable because, like, how do you make up something like this? That's why I'm like, okay, maybe this one is true.
Yeah, I think it's such a ridiculous story that I do think there's some truth to it, because I don't know how you make something like that up. And something like that is so random that you probably remember every single second of that. Did you see the story that he said that apparently, I guess they raided his jail cell recently?
No,
And
I didn't.
yeah, so apparently they raided his jail cell recently. And I think it's just to show that he make sure he's not doing anything that he shouldn't be doing behind the scene, like, you know, he's not doing
Mhm.
anything illegal there. B, that there's
Yeah.
no suicide warning, so they want to look for anything there. But yeah, they raid his cell. I wish this quick case would be on TV, but obviously it's a federal case, so they're not gonna like televise it.
It would have been so good.
It would have been so good, but it's just crazy that Diddy's just in bars. Just think
So-
about it. P. Diddy is in a jail cell right now.
So this is the other story we have to talk about, but Kristin Cavallari hooking up with another huge A-list star. So she and her buddy did the whole like suspect trend. And did you see this where you run and you like accuse the person of doing crazy shit or wild, goofy, and you're kind of like making fun of the person while her friend, as she's running away, says that, oh, you know, suspects on the run and who hooked up with Jason Statham. And
That's a good one on your resume.
again, I'm shocked that she would allow this through. But Kristin Cavallari, she is the queen of publicity right now. She knows what to do, and
She's
this
so
is
good.
so good. Such a smart way to drop it. She doesn't really acknowledge it, but if her friend is saying it, and remember, her and Jason were connected way before she was married to Jay Cutler. There was like rumors of
And
them
before
dating.
he was with Rosie Huntington.
Yeah. So it would make sense that they potentially did actually hook up. But what a sly little way to finally like release that news out there. Have your friend do it, make it look like you didn't want that information out there, but then release it out there.
I'm just curious if it's Kristin that's really putting herself in out there in the press, or if it's her publicist, because she knows that it's going to make news. She's good, but the thing is, she's getting all this press, and I don't know exactly what she's doing it for, because I don't know if that audience that, like, obviously we're talking about it now,
Mhm.
but are people going to tune into her podcast, or is she just trying to keep her name relevant, or is she trying to get some more brand deals? I don't know what she's doing all this press for, but the last 6
It's
weeks,
working.
it's been Kristin Cavallari. She's been taking over a Raw Rundown.
Yeah, she's taken it over every single week. And then the last story I wanted to say just before we get into this interview, because I really want to get to this interview, Kim Zolciak and Croy. Finally, it looks like we're going to be able to put their drama behind us. That house that they have been fighting over, they've been living inside of, that's been causing all of the issues, is going up on the auction block. It looks like December 3rd. I saw them slash off like $300,000 the other day to try to speed up the sale. But it looks like we might finally be coming to an end of this whole drama. They won't be living in the house. And remember, it's 7 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, sits on this nearly 2-acre piece of land, 15,000 square feet, massive pool. And so it's just under $4 million. So it's, we'll see if they end up getting an offer or if it just goes the auction block.
It sounds like a good deal right now. At first, when they were trying to sell the house, you're like, this is ridiculous. But now it feels like someone's should take that property. I feel like
swoop in there, get it. And
if you
that's a
have the
little piece
money-
of history too.
I don't know about history. I don't know how much
You know, there's
I
a
don't know.
Bravo fan out there that would take this in a heartbeat.
I'll tell you what, Dex. If I were to buy that house, the first thing I would do, I would get whatever P. Diddy did to kind of clear the air to all the bad
You need the
energy.
sage.
I'd kill a bird and put some sage in that house before I move in that house, because there's some bad energy there. All right. Before we get to Clint, our guest today, we read reviews. Dax, do you have a review ready for us?
Of course. All right. I've got this 5-star review from Jamie Ann 66. It says, "Love you guys. It's 5 stars. Hi, found you by accident, and I'm happy I did. You guys are great. I listen either during my lunchtime walks or at bedtime. Thanks for keeping up on the daily dish from Jamie." Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, Jamie. All right.
Let's jump into this. So earlier this week, sat down with Clint Brewer, who is one of the best photogs in the business, and chatted to him all about all the huge photos he's taken. Honestly, unbelievable guy. All right, here it is. Clint, thank you so much for coming back to the podcast. We love having you on. I'm excited to have you back. You always are consistently probably one of the most successful photographers out there, getting the biggest shots in the world. So I love hearing your behind the scenes stories. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to be back. Different times, I suppose.
I feel like every time I am looking on, the big websites, whether it's TMZ or Us Weekly, I see a photo, but then I see it pop up on your Instagram page, because your Instagram page, you will normally kind of show a lot of the big stories that you have broken.
Yeah.
They're always all you, like always, because on the websites it may not say Clint Brewer, right? Like
no, my byline is North on Sunset.
Exactly.
We took my name off, and
so you don't see it, but then because I'm seeing you on Instagram, I'll see that it's yours, and I'm like, damn, this guy gets everything. It's unbelievable. So I'm really excited to have.
It's not just me. Remember, there's another guy too.
There's a team. There's a team, but I know you.
Yeah. I don't like to take all the credit when all the credit's due to me,
So what do you feel like is the biggest story that you have gotten recently since the last time we talked, I guess?
Well, the industry's kind of changed, so stories are kind of going. It's difficult to know what everyone's going to use recently, especially with like the election coming up. That kind of ruined a lot of space in the publications this year, for sure.
Because everyone just wanted to talk politics, basically?
Everyone. And then all the celebrities started to get involved, and that kind of changed the dynamic of who was using what. Mm-hmm. So everyone kind of like teamed up with different types of celebrities, with different types of news outlets, depending which way they were leaning. So it was a bit odd for a while.
Do you feel like in like an election year that the politicians become almost bigger than the celebrities? And when I say politicians, I mean like Kamala or Trump. Were they bigger than any celebrity that you could get at this point?
Yeah, I would say yes, but I mean they're seen so much, so the price for us is not that great.
Gotcha. Unless they were doing something crazy.
Yeah, but everything evolved around it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's but it depends how they use the media, because it's like it's a gift and not a gift. Mm-hmm. Well, if you get it wrong, you can get it really wrong.
I was going to say,
take like a while to get that back. You made one mistake and that's it. That's what everyone runs with.
So I think one of the big stories that you recently got, which was centered around politics, was the Oprah video, or at least your team got the Oprah video. Yeah. Where, again, this one went crazy viral because you guys asked her, hey, were you paid for this Kamala interview? And, because you're endorsing her, were you paid for this this interview? She said no. She said that her team was paid, basically, right? Because all the people around her needed to get money for this, but she wasn't. That video, where was it shot? Hawaii?
No. This is the crazy thing about the internet, right? This is why sometimes do not believe 90% of the stuff you see online, because I see it. Because the stuff we've taken, and you read the comments, and you're like, how has people come up with this? Like Hawaii, I'm like, it doesn't look anything like Hawaii.
Was it up in like Montecito?
Yeah, Santa Barbara. Yeah, but it's just interesting, like to see the other side. You're like, wow, like how many people on other subjects believe what is not in front of them.
Yeah. Okay,
so
she how did that one all turn out? Like, how did that come up? How did it turn out? Like, give me the details behind getting that Oprah video.
We worked Santa Barbara for like years, and through the pandemic, it got like crazy up there, and a lot of celebrities have moved into the area. So we're there like every so often, and I don't know what was it. It was a weekend, I think. Was it Saturday? It was Saturday or Sunday. I just arrived and I see a car parked on the street, and I was like, "There's no way." I literally just arrived. I turned down one street, and it was right there in front of me. I was like,
"Does she have a really recognizable car?" I mean, I saw it was like a Range Rover, Land Rover, or something.
Yeah, to me, I'm like a book of cars. Like they're all in there. But if you ask me, like, I won't remember it, but when I see it, I'm like, "That's the car." And I saw the car, and her security was there too, but they weren't like too close. So I kind of knew what the walk was going to be, and I just waited. And when she doesn't walk that, who walks that fast uphill? No one. So I was like, I've got plenty of time. I just needed to gauge. In my head, I'm like, I just need to gauge where she's walked enough, where she can't turn around and walk back. Just like you, kind of like, well, I'm close enough to the car where I've got to commit to get to the car. Don't turn around and she go find a security team. Which Oprah's always been really nice. Like, she will talk to you. She might not say what she might not give you what you want, but she's always 100% polite to you. She's always been really nice to me.
Super savvy when it comes to talking with photographers and understanding the game, and knowing that if she gives a little bit, it will go a long way. And she always looks good for the cameras. So how did that video do for you? Because again, now you've got a huge celebrity on a huge political news story that everyone will pick up. Did it do well?
It will do well, but in the grand scheme of things, of like all the other stuff that's done well, no. Because not everyone wants to use it, because they don't want to be pushing that narrative, and it's weird. Like Fox obviously took it, TMZ, the usual ones that would take that kind of stuff, but everyone else just steered away from it. But they'll use the story.
Yeah. They just don't want to use the video.
I don't mind, like, we'll just take all of their hard work and just write our own story around what he said, which is...
Yeah, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with your video is the story, and if someone writes up what she said in a video but doesn't use the video, can you go after them? Can you say, hey, you need to credit, you need to link, you need to do something?
No, not really, not yet.
Interesting.
Now, and then sometimes what they'll do, they'll take the video from TMZ and link that TMZ video into their story, which then cuts me out again.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, depending on what client it is, we'll talk to them and they'll be like, oh, we get it, and we'll make a sale just through that. But like your average, billion people that used it on their social medias, no, I don't get anything for that.
Really? You can't go after them because I've seen a lot of big celebrities get hit with lawsuits from different paparazzi agencies because they're using the videos uncredited, and next thing you know, they're crediting agencies because they got hit with a lawsuit and they're paying money.
Yeah, but like the average, that's fine. They will pay. Sometimes they don't know. Most of them, they're just like, they think it's a picture of them. They can just use it. Which, I get it. But
so being up in Montecito, obviously you've got Oprah there, but you have one of the other biggest sets of photography focal points, which would be Meghan and Harry. They live up there. I've seen you get photos of Meghan. I like one of your recent ones, was her walking around. What is it like working Meghan and Harry on the other side of the camera?
We don't work it. We do not work that story. We find them. So we don't. One of the couple doesn't like us very much. That's obvious, and so it's difficult. But when we see it, well, we're going to try and get pictures, but. We don't work it like anyone else. No.
And when you say work it, like, you're not like waiting around for them. You're essentially, if you see them, you'll take photos, but it's a hard shot to get.
Yeah, I mean, we might only get it like 4 or 5 times a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they might be clustered together as well. And then there's, maybe a few more. Some of them people don't want to use. Like if we get pictures of Harry, they just don't want to use it.
Why?
I think he moans a lot. Like he doesn't.
Like he's not happy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No,
But I mean,
I get it. I understand it. So, but sometimes we don't know who's in the car either.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's this fully tinted car. We've got no idea who's in the car.
Yeah.
Could just be security. Sometimes, most of the time it is.
Have you ever had any weird, interactions with Meghan or Harry?
No, we've never spoken to them, no. But their security team like to follow us around and try and turn the wheel onto us a bit. But yeah, it's all part of the job, I suppose. They're doing their job, we're doing our job.
No, 100%. So if anyone wants to see Clint's Instagram, I highly suggest you go to it. It's Clint Brewer Photography. You can find him on IG. But this, I feel like, is the best way to see everything that you've been shooting recently. I saw that you got Tori Spelling the other day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We are massive Tori Spelling fans. We are dying to get her on the podcast. We have tried for years. We've got like so many other people around her, connected to her.
I'm sure she'd do it.
That's the thing, but we can't seem to get her. I don't know why. What is she like? What is it like talking with Tori Spelling? Do you get a tip? Do you run into her? How does it all go down?
We just some of the best sets we've got. We've just ran into them. You put all this hard work into other stuff, and nothing ever happens. And I'll be driving down the street, and I'm like, oh my god, they're like in front of you in the perfect position. You're in the perfect position, and it just happens. You're like I put like 4 minutes of work into that. And that it's the same with that. We just saw her, but yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah,
I think she gets it.
She's been famous for so long. She has
a hard time as well. I think she gets. Like when we take pictures of her, we don't want to shit on her, if I can say that word.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because she's a mom with a bunch of kids and stuff, so we don't want to. So, we're always kind of conscious of that. I mean, the guy I work with.
So who would be the biggest?
We don't want to bash people's images, because when if someone's taking pictures of me walking down the street, I'm sure I'd look freaking terrible, most of them.
So who would be like
picking my nose and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah, who would be the biggest shot for you right now? Like, is that shot, Margot Robbie with a big pregnant belly? Is it? I don't know, Hugh Jackman and his new girlfriend kissing? Is it like, what is the biggest shot for you right now?
You know what? It changes from week to week. And since like everything's kind of changed this year, what I think is the biggest shot, no one else cares. So there's a whole big shift going on with like, the younger generation did not care as much about celebrities.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed it too.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a long time.
They're not that interested.
It shifted to influencers, the big celebrities, the Brads, the Angelinas, all those people. At one point, you couldn't get any bigger, and then around came, Jake and Logan Paul and Mike Tyson fights and like stuff like that, where the focus shifted from these celebrities to now these influencers and what they're doing in their life. And for a long time, the media wasn't covering them. And I always was like, these are the biggest people. These are the most influential people out there. How are they not covered? So I do find that
they cover themselves. They cover themselves. That's the problem. People ask me, like my friends, whatever. They're like, "Oh, do you now work on all of the influencers and the TikTokers?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because they cover themselves. They're doing my job themselves for themselves."
Yeah, that is 100% true.
I mean, we're trying to figure out how to do that in our industry for ourselves as well right now.
Yeah,
how to what's the next step? Reinvent the wheel again, which we have to keep doing every 5 or 6 years. I've reinvented the wheel too many times now.
So what would be a bigger photo for you right now? Would it be getting Hugh Jackman and his new girlfriend like kissing, or would it be Jessica Simpson showing up to a divorce lawyer office?
Maybe. I mean, we got Jessica Simpson last week. No one cared.
Mm-hmm.
No one cared.
Yeah, but if she's walking into a divorce lawyer, it makes it pretty newsworthy.
Or if she's with a new man, people care. So I would say with that one, I mean, Hugh Jackman's New York, so he would literally have to bang on my door and ask me to do the pictures.
For sure.
Gonna come over to California. By all means, I help you out.
You know what? There's some people that I find so fascinating, but I don't feel like they're out and they're not really photographed anymore. Like Fergie. I am a huge fan of Fergie. I loved her with the Black Eyed Peas. I loved her music post Black Eyed Peas. And then she just kind of disappeared. Do you see her out?
People just forget.
Is it forget or just no one covers her anymore?
Both.
But why?
I think both.
She's still so she's got a huge name.
Yeah, and you know what? She's really nice. She's really nice. She's always dressed good. If she knows you're there, she'll give you a bit of a walk. You know, won't make it too difficult. You know, it's always. She's nice. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll go and get her. Maybe you'll see it next week.
Yeah, and now. I always think her, Christina Aguilera, are they trying to stay out of the spotlight at this point because they want to focus on being moms?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You know, my wife's the same. They want to concentrate on the kids, and kind of that comes above everything else at one point, and then the kids start to get older again, and then they'll resurface again.
Yeah,
but it's hard to stay relevant. You know,
it's really hard.
Yeah, because we did Rob Lowe's 60th birthday in Santa Barbara, and it was at nighttime. Bunch of celebrities, we were on ladders shooting over, they had a kind of fence thing, and we could see into the parking lot where they were coming out. And it was kind of on a busy street. People walk in, everyone's like, "Hey, what are you guys shooting?" We're like, "Oh, Rob Lowe's 60th." Who's Rob Lowe? I said to my friend, I was like, if we had if we were filming that, what people were saying to us was more interested in kind of what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the problem we've got right now.
Yeah.
People are not looking. And Rob Lowe's massive.
He's
anyone our age.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know Rob Lowe's cool. He's he's a great guy.
Were you trying to cover the what was it, Leonardo DiCaprio 50th?
No, we did. We had no idea that was going on.
That was a huge one. The amount of celebs coming in and out was insanity.
Yeah, and then you just get a picture of Leo doing this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
God knows he hates his photo taken.
Feel you around.
Mm-hmm.
His senses for photographers being around is amazing. We got him and that girlfriend. I'm not sure if it's the girlfriend now, one of them. In Montecito, and we could see him walking around, and you could see that he could feel us there, but we were hiding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he is on it, that guy.
And when you say hiding, what does that mean? Are you just in your car? What?
Yeah, in a car. We'll mix in with other people. We have long lenses, so we can be far away. But it's interesting how people can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You can not everyone, but some of them. They're like this. They're like, oh, they know that something's up.
Now,
kind of get spooked.
I remember when J.Lo and Ben divorce rumors started swirling around. That became the biggest story. Did you cover their divorce stuff at all?
I think I did the wedding.
Yeah. How did you which didn't they have a couple? They had a couple. They had the Vegas one. They had the one
in
was it Georgia or something?
Yeah, Georgia, Savannah.
Okay. You were at that one?
Nice place. Yeah. I was at that one. That was
okay. So walk me through getting photos of J.Lo and Ben's wedding. How does that all go down?
Well, he has what do they call them houses out there? It's like
plantation?
that's it. I planned there. Yeah, a really nice house, like on this, kind of like in the middle of nowhere. So like usually we would use like helicopters to. Then the wedding was. We thought the wedding was on the property, which it was on the day, but they did like a bunch of other rehearsals and stuff like that on other properties, kind of like on a little island thing. There's water around it, so they used like other locations, but it's all like kind of like you can't see it from anywhere, even from a boat. You can't see it, and they actually stopped the river, so you couldn't go near it.
Okay,
they had like river police or something, whatever they were using, so you couldn't, you know, start boats, trains, planes would try and use whatever, but usually we'd use a helicopter, you know, to get weddings in LA. Get a helicopter. Boom, take the door off, wedding pictures, easy.
Are you guys like strapped in, just hanging out the helicopter to take these photos?
Yeah, I've never been in a helicopter with a door on.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been in a helicopter, I don't know, I wouldn't say 100 times, but almost. And I've never had the door on. I've always had like half my body hanging out the door.
That's wild. So okay, so you get J.Lo. I got to know more that you got out of. So keep going with the J.Lo and Ben, and then I want to know some other
So,
big photos you've got hanging out of a helicopter.
It wasn't a helicopter because they don't have helicopters over there. There just wasn't any.
Oh, really?
No, like you have like the we wanted to get a police helicopter maybe, but I'm not even sure if they have one of them over there because we didn't see a helicopter at all. We couldn't rent one, anything. So we were renting small planes.
Wow.
Like with the over top wings. And usually if you sit in the front, you can unlatch and the window kind of goes up, and while you're flying around, the pressure would just keep the window open. So, you know, you kind of have to tilt the plane to take pictures. It's fine, just a different way of doing it. But because we'd done it like a few days before with the rehearsal, people who owned the planes were kind of didn't want to do it. So they didn't want to get in, you know, locals, and no one cared. So on the wedding day, everyone was trying to get up in the sky. No one could do it. The reporter that works with us just called some random plane company, some like young pilot answered the phone. He's like, yeah, my dad's got a plane. I'll take you up. So we went over there, took the plane up, but the window kind of like rusted. So you usually use like a screwdriver to so I had this much of a gap. like
tiny, like an inch or two?
If that. Yeah, I'd say maybe 2 inches, yeah.
Okay.
And so we went up flying around, you know, trying to do like a big circle of the wedding, not getting too close. You don't want to like buzz someone's wedding. It's kind of annoying. And, you know, the wedding's going on, so we're taking pictures. It's great. The wedding dress, walking up and down the aisle. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, no one else is doing it. It's just us. And then the pilot gets a text message from his girlfriend, and he turns around to me and says, "Is this Ben and Jen's wedding?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And this guy just literally nosedived this plane to like, he just like dove down. And now, like, we were really high, and now we're low.
Oh God! So because he wanted to get he wanted to see for himself.
Yeah, so we are now low, and I'm like, oh my God, like this. Okay, I'm like, well, I'm not flying the plane, so it must be like this must be good.
Yeah,
and I had to change lenses because we were so close. My big lens was too close. I was taking a picture of my foot. And we're flying past this thing, and I could shout out the window like, "Congratulations on your wedding!" Like they would have heard me for sure.
Oh my God!
And, yeah. So, and then the light started to go, and I'm just like, "Wow! Like these pictures are amazing." Like, and I think, I'm not sure if it was people. Someone paid like, I think, a couple of $1 million for them pictures. Like,
like the ones where she, like
the official ones,
personal photographer, yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're gonna put a picture out straight away for sure. They're gonna totally like ruin this set.
Yeah.
So like our big set's gonna turn into nothing. And we're flying back towards the airport. And what I didn't realize was, because we were so far away from the airport, there's no signal for the airport to his plane.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no interaction. with like air traffic control or anything. So we're flying back, and as we got closer, there was just someone screaming at us over the radio, and it was the traffic controller. Was like, we're getting calls like every 5 minutes that there's a plane flying around in circles, and this guy was just like, yeah, it's no big deal, it's just a wedding, we're just taking pictures. And they were just like, oh, okay. And I'm just like,
you're like, thank God this happened in Georgia.
Nah, this, because if that was LA, like they would have shot us out of the sky or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't break any laws. Like he did everything. It was all legal, but you know, you start to like, you got that fly back and you can just see the airport and you're like, wow, we're still 20 minutes away. And the guy behind me is like tapping me on the shoulder and he's like, hide your card. And I'm like, yeah, I'll hide one of them. So I hid one of them, thinking that there was going to be like someone waiting for us on the runway. So as we land, I'm like, all right, buddy, like, great job. He's like, oh yeah, I can't believe we did that was great. My girlfriend this, my girlfriend that. I'm like, yeah. He wanted to do like small talk. I just wanted to like get off the runway in my car, just like drive.
That's so
we
funny.
gave him a nice tip though. He did well out of it.
So then were you guys able to actually put out the photos before Jen and Ben released theirs?
This is the thing. They waited, I think, nearly a week.
So you got a week's worth of the sale before they put them out?
Yeah, them pictures were sold before we landed on the ground.
No way.
Yeah, like multiple people bought them all at once.
Wow.
Because I took like a picture of the back of my camera and just like sent it to our guy in the office. And yeah.
Are you allowed to say roughly how much you can make off a set like that?
I think they did it 200.
$200,000?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
But it's not. There was a big team of us. I think there was 7 of us.
Plus, you're paying for all the travel, the guys flying the pilot, all of it. So there's expenses in there, but that's a good payday.
Cars, hotels, yeah. You know, everyone's freelance, so no one's getting paid unless we get. So the pressure on me was a lot because everyone was just like, okay, who's going to do the wedding pictures? And everyone just looked at me and I was like, okay, I suppose I'm doing it.
Now, is that your biggest set ever, or have you gotten bigger photo sets than that?
No, that's not the Harry and Olivia one. That first picture, that's still the biggest one.
Oh, Harry Styles and
Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, that was the biggest photo set you've ever done
so far. Yeah, that one's going to be hard to beat.
Dang.
Because every time they talk about that, like I get sales from that all the time. It's nuts.
Now, is there a celebrity that you? Oh, sorry. What other photos have you got, by the way, hanging out of helicopters that maybe people would recognize or know and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that photo set."
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like all weddings and all that kind of stuff.
Is there any celebs that you take photos of that just don't sell and you don't understand why? Because to you, it's a great photo set. The person is famous, but no one seems to care anymore or buy the photos of them.
Well, we're not recent. Like in the last week, we did a video on, the Breaking Bad guy, Bryan
Cranston.
Yeah. So he like kind of vocally said that he was going to leave America if Trump won.
Okay.
So like we see him and I was like, oh, let's ask him if he's going to leave America. So we did this kind of video. It's kind of funny.
And what did he say?
He didn't say anything. He just laughed. He kind of knew what was going on. And he knew what he said. He said it. I didn't put the words in his mouth. And no one used it. No, nothing. Not a blimp anywhere. So I put it on my TikTok account. And it did like 2.2 million views in like 4 days.
Wow. Dude, I love your Instagram page. It's so great. I saw there was photos the other day, or I guess there was video. You got Neverland Ranch and it looks like almost back to life, which is crazy. Like all the rides, they're colorful. Throughout the years, everything had gone very dilapidated after.
Well, that's the movie.
What do you mean?
Well, they're doing a film. Is it a film on?
Oh,
yeah, they're doing a movie on Michael Jackson.
Oh, so they're revamping it for.
No. It was just for like I think a week they were there for.
Really?
And, yeah, Neverland Ranch is like it's far. Even like if we were in Santa Barbara to drive to Neverland Ranch is still like another hour away.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go all the way up into the hills. It's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's a movie set.
I did not know that. So they revamped it for a movie set, and that was it. And then they took it all down.
Took it all down. They got the permission from the guy that owns it. And I don't know when that movie's coming out. I think one of the family members is playing Michael. And I cannot remember who it is. Someone in the family is playing Michael in that film, I'm sure.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I just saw, again, I guess I didn't read the caption, but I was flipping through because Neverland Ranch I've presented so many photos over the years between after he had passed away and how there at one point it was up for sale and like just the evolution of how all that like backyard, because I mean, there's still
they should turn it into like a place for people to go.
I've said this
because they have the land.
I was like,
make no difference on the town. There's a small town there, which is busy anyway because it's like this like quaint like Western kind of town.
Mm-hmm.
Solvang? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Solvang, I think is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Really cool place to like just walk around. Like if you're there, you should definitely go check it out. Like, and it's kind of like way off the beaten path, even from the small town. So it would make no difference.
If they turned it into a Graceland type thing, it would have made so much money. If they would have buried him up there. The problem is Michael didn't have good memories of there because that's where he was raided. That's where all the investigation went down. So him personally, he didn't have good feelings about it. So that's why I don't think the family would have done it. But if they would have, that place would have made billions of dollars with people going there, wanting to check it out. Yeah.
It still can't. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it distasteful? I don't know. Like, is that a clause when the person bought it? Is that always going to be in the contract that it can never be turned into? Because, you get some like kind of asshole corporate company that would love to buy that and do it.
You have to get the rights to use his image, which they probably wouldn't hand over. Is there a celebrity that you refuse to work on, that you will not take their photos, you won't take video?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really, no.
Is there anyone
I don't like, it's just, it's a job. I don't try not to take any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What they do personally, or, even if they say anything bad to me, which hardly ever happens, but I get it.
I just like, there's certain people like Woody Harrelson or Alec Baldwin who are very famous.
Alec Baldwin's he's just a bully.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin just picks on small people. He wouldn't pick on anyone bigger than him.
Mm-hmm.
So
would you even pick up your camera and shoot him?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd ask him some difficult questions as well.
Okay. Just curious.
See if he's going to answer any of them, because especially this week, everyone's been very quiet.
It really has.
No, I mean the celebrities, when you ask them questions, we've been asking a lot of questions about the whole election, and
no one wants to talk election. It's too polarizing.
They don't anymore.
It's too polarizing of a topic, I think, too. I mean, it's one of those things that, you look around and people lose friendships because they choose one side or the other. And when you're a celebrity, it can ruin your fan base. I always say, I'm like, there is no
I think that's happened.
Talking politics.
I think everyone that's been getting paid recently for all this stuff, I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone should just be happy that everyone's voting either way.
Yeah.
So everyone does it. We get a result, and that's in 4 years, it's just going to change.
Who's your favorite celeb to take photos of?
God, I don't know. There's so many. I mean, like photographically,
Sure.
like I always like taking pictures of Kim Kardashian because she always looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's easy for us if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no, don't really. I've been doing it so long where it's like if you'd asked me like 25 years ago, I'd probably have been able to answer that immediately because I've been doing it so long. They all just like merge into like one.
Is there
one industry?
Is there one photo that you have like printed out over your mantle, like that pride and joy photo that you're like, this one was cool. The story behind it, the shot getting it is really memorable to you. Do you have a shot like that?
I mean, behind every set of pictures that we have, there is like a funny story or like how it happened. And I think sometimes that's more interesting than the actual picture.
Yeah.
And, that's what we're trying to figure out. Like, do people want to hear about that? I don't know. Like,
they do.
Yeah.
So, I love it. I love hearing like your story of J.Lo and Ben. That's fascinating to me to hear what the time, the effort, the energy that went behind getting a huge photo set like that. I mean,
and there was like
one. Love it.
For that, there was a lot of people there trying to get that picture. There was like newspapers had their own teams there.
Yep.
And they're all just sitting on the ground watching me go round in a circle. I'm like, get your checkbooks ready, guys.
I got the photos and you didn't.
Yeah, don't send your team next time. Just call us and you can just pay it. It'll be a lot cheaper instead of doing it twice.
I was gonna ask also, do you know why like there's some people that were photographed so much, like Ariana Grande, for example? I feel like she was photographed so much for a long time, and now that she's with her new boyfriend, she's not out. So like how does someone so famous hide away from photographers?
It's easy. It is easy.
You think?
Yeah. Don't live where everyone else lives to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drive a flashy car with all your windows tinted, dark.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a security car following behind you. Don't go to all the hotspots.
And boom, no photos.
Done.
Interesting.
It's easy. It's easy. They can just disappear quick. And that's why, like, when people are like, they kind of complain about the whole thing. I'm like, guys, you got enough money to not live in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You can live outside of LA or another state and just fly in when you need to. Like, other people don't have the option. You don't have to be here, but I think they secretly, some people miss it if someone won't recognize them anymore.
Yeah,
and I get that. It must be strange if like you're that famous, and then all of a sudden one day like no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
Must be weird.
Does anyone cover Britney Spears anymore? Like at one point, she had people literally camped outside of her gated community, and so that they would watch for her car to leave. But I feel like we don't see photos of Britney Spears in the wild anymore. Now it's only really her Instagram, and then traveling. But it's all
you can see her dancing every night if you want.
Yeah,
dancing videos, which are kind of.
But what is
motivated to watch? So but she just doesn't go out. She doesn't go out. And because where she lives, like Jamie Foxx lives close, so sometimes we might work on Jamie Foxx. We like working Jamie Foxx, he's cool. And we'll see her, and she just comes out, drives around in like this big loop of 1,000 Oaks, and then just drives home. Doesn't get out of the car. Just.
Do you think that's her checking to see if there's photographers?
She just likes to drive. It was the same like when back in the day when everyone was working her. She used to just come out and just go for a drive. She just likes to drive. Some people just do, don't they? They just like to drive around.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting in your big mansion all day with not much going on. Life's not always.
Sounds so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. That's why I say to people like, "Oh, I wish I was famous." I'm like, "Be careful what you wish for."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Be careful what you wish for," because as soon as you turn that faucet on, you cannot turn it off.
It's very difficult.
Sometimes, like, you know, you could be a prisoner in your own home, and I wouldn't want it. It kind of sounds a bit, as you said, it kind of sounds sad, and it is. But, you know, I think she's doing way better. Like, recently, she seems to be in Hawaii a lot, and, you know, you do see pictures of her with, like, her friends on her social media. So she is out doing stuff. Just
I don't know if I 100% agree, but I will say the one thing that I did like seeing the other day was the story that her and one of her sons are reconnecting. That to me was because when she lost like custody of her children, that's really when her life spiraled out of control. And
I mean, can you imagine not seeing your kids? I
couldn't imagine. And I think it really destroyed her inside, not having that connection with her children anymore. Yeah. So to see one of her sons, and I don't remember if it was Jaden or Sean Price, I think it was Jaden.
I think it was Jaden,
reaching out and like meeting up with his mom, it makes my heart happy for her, because I know that is something that has been a big void in her life. So
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you need your kids.
Yep.
And if you can't, I don't know if I'd handle it as well as she did, even though it doesn't look like, you know, she found it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
She probably did better than I would.
Oh man, how did 40 minutes just fly by? I don't understand, Clint. I was trying to keep this to 30 minutes.
I could talk for 24 hours. Dude. Keep me on here, but it'll be dark by the time we finish.
I love it. Your stories are always so fascinating. And I really highly suggest, if you guys want to go, follow him on Instagram. Clint Brewer Photography is his Instagram handle. You will be shocked with the amount of photos that you see all over the internet that actually belong to this man. He was the one that, you know, took the photo or the video, or his partner. But it really, you are, I would say, one of the most successful photographers out there by far. Like, you will get the big shots. I'm always impressed with your work. And I love the stories that you bring to the podcast. And I want to talk for 10 more hours, but instead we'll just have to have you back again.
We can do it again. Don't worry.
Can we not wait 2 years this time? Like, we waited way too long.
I'm always here. I'm always just, you know, waiting around for something.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Clint. I appreciate you stopping by. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Make sure you're following us also on Instagram at Hollywood Raw. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've got our private Facebook group called Off the Record. Clint, you should come join our private Facebook group, see what people are saying. It's really fun. And then obviously you can watch the video version on YouTube. And you can follow me.
Yeah, I would not be watching myself, just so
you can follow Adam at Adam Glyn, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.